Patrick "Sammy" Patty Mills is an Indigenous Australian professional basketball player who currently plays for the San Antonio Spurs of the National Basketball Association. Mills is the second Indigenous Australian to play in the NBA and the first person of Torres Strait Islander descent. Mills was drafted to the Portland Trail Blazers with the 55th overall pick in the 2009 NBA draft after playing college basketball for St. Mary's College of California. He also played for the Melbourne Tigers in the National Basketball League during the NBA lockout. Mills led the 2012 Olympics in scoring when he averaged with 21.2 points per game with the Australian national basketball team, the Boomers. He signed with the San Antonio Spurs in 2012 and won an NBA championship with them in 2014. Early life and career: Mills' father is a Torres Strait Islander from Thursday Island and his mother is an Aboriginal Australian from the Yinanga people of South Australia. He was first exposed to basketball as a 4-year-old with the Shadows, an Indigenous Australian team that his parents established. Mills attended Marist College, Canberra, where he played a variety of sports in addition to basketball, such as Australian football and athletics. He served as ball boy for the Canberra Cannons of the NBL around 2000. During that time, his family developed a close relationship with Cannons player David Patrick, who would eventually play a key role in Mills' career. As well as playing basketball, Mills also played underage Australian rules football at a high level. He represented the Australian Capital Territory at the 2004 Under-16 National Championships, and, after being named the tournament's best and fairest player, was pursued by recruiters from the Sydney Swans, an Australian Football League team. At the age of 15, Mills was selected for the ACT's Under-18 basketball squad to compete in the Australian National Championships. The following year, Mills accepted a full-time basketball scholarship with the Australian Institute of Sport. He replaced a player who had dropped out of the program, Scott Pendlebury, who had dropped out to pursue an AFL career. He also made a strong impression at the 2005 Australian Olympic Youth Festival, an event considered to be a showcase for future elite sporting talents. In January 2006, he received the R.E. Staunton Medal as top player in the Australia Under-20 National Championships. In April that year, he received more international attention when he was named to the World Team of Under-20 players that played a U.S. team of the same age group at the Nike Hoop Summit in Memphis, Tennessee. Mills led the world squad with 6 assists and also added 8 points in a losing effort. He was one of 22 players invited to try out for the Australia squad for the 2006 FIBA World Championship, becoming the youngest player ever to participate in a Boomers training camp. While he was in training with the Boomers in July, he was named by Basketball Australia as the Junior Male Player of the Year. Mills also had an outstanding 2006 season with the AIS men's team in the South East Australian Basketball League, earning him a place on the All-SEABL East men's team and the honour of 2006 SEABL U21 Australian Youth Player of the Year. He went on to be named the 2006 Basketball Australia Player of the Year, and also received 2 major awards from Indigenous Australian organisations: the Deadlies Award for Most Promising New Talent in Sport and NAIDOC's National Sportsperson of the Year. College career: Mills signed with St. Mary's College of California during the NCAA National Early Signing Period in November 2006. Although he was pursued by several other NCAA Division I schools such as Utah, Wake Forest, Alabama, and Nebraska, he came to St. Mary's, indicating that he was comfortable with the Gales head coach Randy Bennett. Also, just prior to the 2006-07 season, Bennett had hired Mills' old family friend, David Patrick, as an assistant coach. Mills became the 5th Australian that Bennett successfully recruited since arriving at St. Mary's in 2001. One of the other Australians to have played under Bennett at St. Mary's was fellow AIS old boy Daniel Kickett, the Gales' all-time leading scorer. Mills also followed in Kickett's footsteps in another way, becoming the first freshman to start for the Gales since Kickett did so in the 2002-03 season. He first broke into the American basketball consciousness in his 4th game of the 2007-08 season, when he scored 37 points to lead the Gales to an upset of nationally ranked Oregon on November 20, 2007. The win also validated pre-season expectations for the Gales, who were picked before the season to finish second in the West Coast Conference behind traditional conference power Gonzaga. The Gales went on to start the season 7-0 and earn their first national ranking since 1989. The Gales also won the 2007 edition of the Rainbow Classic, an annual 8-team December tournament hosted by the University of Hawaii, with Mills being named tournament MVP. St. Mary's was nationally ranked for most of the season, ultimately finishing second in WCC regular season play to Gonzaga. After the regular season, Mills was named WCC Newcomer of the Year and also made the All-WCC First Team. At the end of the regular season, Mills was the second leading freshman scorer in the WCC at 14.4 points per game, and also led all WCC freshmen in assists and steals. The Gales went on to the NCAA tournament, where they lost in the first round to Miami. In that game, Mills' 24 points made him the only Gale to score in double figures, and he also led the Gales with 5 assists. Despite the 19-hour time difference between Mills' hometown of Canberra and the U.S. West Coast, Australian television showed Gales games live. NBA career, Portland Trail Blazers. In April 2009, Mills entered the 2009 NBA draft, waiting until the final minutes of the deadline before making the decision. He was selected with the 25th pick of the second round by the Portland Trail Blazers. During practice for the NBA's Summer League, he suffered a fracture in his right foot, and required surgery. He signed with the Blazers in October 2009 after speculation of whether he would be signed at all due to the injury and the number of point guards already on the roster. After completing rehabilitation from surgery on his foot in December, Mills was assigned to the Idaho Stampede of the NBA Development League. In his debut with Idaho, he scored 38 points and added 12 assists and 3 rebounds. After one more game with the Stampede, in which he scored the game-winning basket, Mills made his NBA debut for the Trail Blazers on January 4, 2010. In just under 5 minutes, he registered 2 assists but scored no points. NBA lockout. On August 29, 2011, during the 2011 NBA lockout, Mills signed with the Melbourne Tigers in Australia for the 2011-12 NBL season. On October 7, he suited up for the Tigers' first home game against the Sydney Kings in Round 1, scoring 28 points and leading the Tigers to an 82-76 win in the inaugural Capital City clash. After playing 9 games for the Tigers, Mills announced he would be leaving the Tigers to play in China with the Xinjiang Flying Tigers. He finished his short NBL stint with averages of 18.6 points per game, 2.3 rebounds per game and 5 assists per game. His stint in China would end on January 3, 2012 when he would be released for allegedly faking a hamstring injury. Mills denied this report. In the 12 games that Mills played for Xinjiang, he averaged 26.5 points per game, 3.8 rebounds per game, 3.8 assists per game, and 2.7 steals per game. San Antonio Spurs. On March 27, 2012, Mills signed with the San Antonio Spurs. He scored 20 points in his third game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. On April 26, 2012, Mills scored a career-high 34 points and also dished out 12 assists in the Spurs' 107-101 win against the Golden State Warriors. Mills also surpassed Andrew Bogut's record for most points in a single NBA game by an Australian. On July 13, 2012, Mills re-signed with the Spurs for the 2012-13 season. Mills averaged 5.1 points, 1.1 assists, and 0.9 rebounds in 58 games that season. On June 24, 2013, Mills exercised his player option to return to the Spurs for the 2013-14 season. Mills averaged 10.2 points that season as the Spurs went on to win the NBA championship, defeating the Miami Heat 4-1 in the NBA Finals. In Game 5 of the Finals, Mills scored a playoff career-high 17 points, including 14 points in the third quarter, as the Spurs clinched the series. On July 2, 2014, Mills was ruled out for 7 months due to a shoulder injury. On July 12, 2014, he re-signed with the Spurs. Australian national team. After repeating as Staunton medalist in 2007, Mills completed his scholarship with the AIS and opted to play for St Mary's. Before arriving in the Bay Area in August 2007, he played for Australia at the FIBA U19 World Championship in Serbia, in which Australia finished 5th. He was then called up to the Boomers in July 2007, making his debut against Austria on July 31 in an international friendly tournament in Bormio, Italy. Mills scored 11 points off the bench and was credited with changing the complexion of the match, which Australia won 84-63. This not only made him one of the youngest Boomers ever, but also made him only the third Indigenous Australian, after Michael Amat in the 1960s and Danny Morsiu in the 1980s, to play for the Boomers. Mills went on to make the Boomers squad for the FIBA Oceania Championship, which doubled as a qualifier for the 2008 Olympics. His main highlight in the competition, which was a 3-match series against Australia's Trans-Tasman rivals New Zealand, came in the second and ultimately deciding match. Mills came off the bench to score 17 points, helping lead the Boomers to a 93-67 rout of the Tall Blacks that punched their ticket to Beijing. Mills was a member of the Australian squad that gave the USA basketball team its closest tune-up game of the summer before the Beijing Olympics. The USA national team beat Australia 87-76 in its exhibition game in Shanghai, China. Australia's star player, the Milwaukee Bucks' Andrew Bogut, did not play because of a sore right ankle. Mills, the youngest player on the floor, was impressive as he added 13 points for the Australian squad. Mills averaged a team-best 14.2 points, all off the bench, in the 6 games the Aussies played in Beijing. He scored 20 points in a quarter-final loss to the United States, with 3 assists, 2 steals and 0 turnovers in 28 minutes. At the London International Basketball Invitational, the Boomers lost a tight contest to France 71-67. Playing against NBA star Tony Parker, Mills scored a team-high 20 points. The following game against Croatia, Mills led the Boomers to a 78-66 win, scoring a game-high 22 points. Mills scored a tournament-high 39 against Great Britain. At the 2012 Olympic basketball tournament, Mills had the highest scoring average with 21.2 points per game, ahead of Kevin Durant of the USA, who averaged 19.5 points per game. 3 goggles. During the 2010 Euro 11 NBA season, Mills and teammate Rudy Fernandez created a trend in which certain Blazers formed the AOK sign with each hand and placed them over their eyes after making a 3-point shot. The gesture was meant to resemble a pair of goggles with 3 fingers in the air to reference the shot just made. When Fernandez would struggle with his 3-pointers, Mills used to joke that he needed help seeing. After knocking down threes, Fernandez would put on the goggles as if to say, "I can see with these on." The trend quickly spread across the team, becoming routine for players such as Mills, Fernandez, Wesley Matthews, Marcus Camby, and Brandon Roy. T-shirts with the gesture were printed and popularly sold in Portland. Nuggets guard J.R. Smith performed the goggles after sinking a 3-pointer against the Blazers, a gesture which irritated some in Portland but demonstrated the popularity of the gesture. The gesture has caught on at many levels of basketball in America. For example, Darius Johnson-Odom, Deron Lamb, and Nolan Smith adopted it in college to celebrate their baskets. Personal life: Mills met longtime girlfriend Alyssa Levesque, who was also a college basketball player, while they were both attending St. Mary's College of California. Mills is a fan of the Brisbane Broncos and Queensland Rugby League teams. His cousin, Adric Lee, plays in the National Rugby League for the Canberra Raiders. He is also a fan of the Adelaide Crows in the Australian Football League. In the wake of the 2010 Queensland floods, Mills raised over $40,000 to assist with flood relief through Portland-based charity foundation Where's My Shirt? In July 2014, Mills was presented with the keys to Canberra. NBA career statistics: Regular season, playoffs, career highlights. 2014 a Euro won first NBA championship with the San Antonio Spurs. 2012 a Euro made ESPN All-London second 5. 2012 a Euro Mills his highest scoring average at 2012 London Olympics with an average of 21.2 points per game. 2012 a Euro on April 26, 2012, Mills scored a career-high 34 points versus Golden State Warriors. 2012 a Euro his first game in the San Antonio Spurs starting 5. 2012 a Euro on March 27, 2012, Mills signed with the San Antonio Spurs. 2009 a Euro drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers in the second round of the 2009 NBA Draft, the second Indigenous Australian to be drafted into the NBA. 2008 a Euro Australia Post-Boomers squad member. Beijing Olympics, 2008 a Euro WCC Newcomer of the Year, All-WCC First Team, 2007 a Euro MVP Outrigger Hotels Rainbow Classic, St Mary's College Tournament Champions, 2007 a Euro West Coast Conference Player of the Month, December 2007, 2007 a Euro West Coast Conference Player of the Week, 26 November 2007 and 26 December 2007, 2007 a Euro in just his fourth NCAA game for St Mary's, Mills dominated with 37 points against Oregon a Euro the sixth best return in the school's history, and best by a first-year player. 2007 a Euro Australia Post-Boomers squad member. Under-19 men's squad member. 2006 a Euro Boomers squad member. AIS Scholarship. Australian Junior Camp. U20 World Team at Nike Hoop Summit. U20 National Championships representing ACT and East Taunton medalist, 2005 a Euro AIS Scholarship. Australian Junior Camp. Youth Olympic Festival Australian Men's Team. U18 National Championships representing ACT, 2004 a Euro U18 National Championships representing ACT, 2003 a Euro Marist All-Ages Basketball Tournament a Euro MVP, see also, National Basketball Association Portal, References. External links, career statistics and player information from NBA.com, or a basketball-reference.com, St Mary's Bio.